Okay, I'm just going to give you a one problem assignment. I'm not going to tell you what the one problem is going to be because I don't want you just shutting off the video. So, check for a common Okay, so you're using elimination. Yesterday there was always a common absolute value in front of either x or y. Well, today, as you can see, there's not, because the absolute value of 4 is 4, the absolute value of 5 is 5, so I don't have the common absolute value there. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. That's two different absolute values, okay? Well, we have ourselves a little problem. So it says we don't have one, so we have to use what's called the boom, 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 boom method. I made it up. Here's what you do. What's the number in front of the x there? Looks like a 5. We are going to times these three, all three of them, by 5. What's the top number you have in front of the x? 4. You're going to be multiplying all these by 4. Okay, that's why it's called boom, 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 boom. So I will be making two new equations. So we take 4x times 5, that's 20x. Then you are taking negative 3 times 5. It's got to be negative. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15y. And then 8 times 5 is 40. Okay? 5 times 4 is 20, so 20x. And then negative 2 times 4 is negative 8y. Negative 11 times 4 is negative 44. Okay, so that step's complete. Now we have a common absolute value in front of the x's. Make sure your common absolute value contains one positive and one negative. If it does not, you need to multiply the second equation by negative 1. Well, those look to be both positive. That can't be that way. So we need to multiply the second equation by negative 1. And all that does, it will make the 20 into a negative. The negative 8 will be now a positive 8. And the negative 44 is now a positive 44. Okay? Now you add the equations and solve for your first variable. So 20 plus negative 20 is 0. Actually, you shouldn't exit out because you got to come back up here. But now I add negative 15 and positive 8. That's negative 7y. By the way, that's what we got to do. Okay, then I add 40 and 44. That's 84. And then I divide both sides by negative 7. And 84 divided by negative 7 is negative 12. So that's your y. By the way, when you have to do the boom, 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 you'll always be solving for y first. Okay, so get your y out and put in negative 12. So I need to be multiplying negative 3 and negative 12. So the equation's equal to 8. So negative 3 times negative 12 is 36 plus 4x. So I minus 36 minus 36. So 8 minus 36. Negative 28. Divide by 4, and negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. So there's my other answer. Okay, got that. This is kind of the last thing you kind of doing before we hit some story problems. Okay, solving for x, solving for y. Do I have a common absolute value? Well, that's 2, that's 3, no, not there. That's 5, that's 11, not there. So we got to do the boom, 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 boom. Now, I have another thing. When you're multiplying, you need to multiply by the absolute value. Okay, so what's the absolute value of 3? 3. So multiply all these by 3. What's the absolute value of negative 2? It's 2. So don't multiply by negative 2. Just multiply by 2. Just trust me on this. So so I got two new equations here. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6x. And negative 5 times 3 is negative 15y. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 2 is positive 6x. And 11 times 2 is 22y. Then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. Make sure your common absolute value contains one positive and one negative. Okay, here's where the common absolute value is at, and we have a negative and a positive, so I'm good to go. I can just go ahead and add the equations and solve for the first variable. Okay, so negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Negative 15 plus 22 is 7, so 7y. And then 27 plus 8 is 35. So divide by 7, and y equals 5. So I got y. Okay, so get your y out of there, and you're going to be putting 5 in. So you're going to be multiplying 5 and negative 5. So it's equal to 9. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25 plus negative 2x. Okay, so plus 25 plus 25. So negative 2x is 34. And then we divide both sides of the equation by negative 2. And that's actually going to be negative 17. Okay, so x and y. Okay, do I have a common absolute value? No, I don't. So I got to do the boom, 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 boom. So what's the absolute value of 2? It's 2. So we're going to times all these by 2. What's the absolute value of 7? 7. You're going to times all these by 7, because then that's going to give you a common absolute value on your x's. So it's going to be 14x plus 6y equals negative 24. And then likewise here, you're going to have 14x plus 35y, 38 times 7, I don't know, 266. Okay, now I need to make sure that I have a positive and a negative, and right now I don't, so I need to multiply the bottom by negative 1, otherwise those are not going to add to 0. So that becomes negative 35 times negative 1, that'll be a negative 35. It's 266 times negative 1 would be a negative 266. Okay, so we add those together, and those will go away. And then I add positive 6 and negative 35. That's going to be negative 29y. And then I add negative 24 and negative 266, and that's negative 290. Then I divide. And y equals 10. Okay, so there's 10. Now, go take your y out, put 10 in. You would be multiplying 10 by positive 3. So you're equal to negative 12. So 3 times 10 is 30. And then I'm adding 7x. So I'm minus 30. So 7x, and that's going to be negative 42. And that's going to be negative 6. Okay, now next one. Solving for x, solving for y. I actually kind of screwed this up here. I don't have a common absolute value in front of the x's or the y's, so I got to use a boom, boom, boom. So what's the absolute value of negative 8? It's 8. So don't multiply by negative 8. You're just going to multiply by 8. Okay, because I only want to multiply by positives when I do that boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to write here only multiply by positives when you're doing that thing. Okay, so then the absolute value of 12 is 12. Okay, so I'm going to have two new equations that pop up. So 12 times 8 is 96x. Negative 7 times 8 is negative 56y. And then negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. Remember, watch these numbers, these y's, because if they have minuses in front of them, they need to be multiplied as negatives. Negative 8 times 12 is negative 96x. 11 times 12 is 132y. 14 times 12, I think it's 168, but better to be sure. Yep. Okay, am I ready to add? Do I have a positive and a negative? Yes, I do. So now I can add. Those are out because 96 plus negative 96 is 0. So now negative 56 plus 132 is 76. And then I add negative 16 and positive 168, and that's 152. So I divide by 76. You get kind of big numbers here, but that's okay. We have calculators for a reason. That's 2. Okay, now go up here and put 2 in. Okay, so that equation's equal to negative 2. I need to take that 2 times negative 7. That's negative 14. I'll be adding 12x. So plus 14 plus 14. So 12x, and that's going to be 12 divided by 12, and x equals 1. Okay, now I think you're ready for me to shut up so you can do your assignment. Cross that out, that out. That's going, that's going, that's going, that's going. And your one problem assignment is number 3. Remember, when you're multiplying, you need to just multiply by, that's a 34, by the way, 8, 8, 8, not negative 8, 7, 7, 7, okay? Solving for x and y.